Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. My name is Ben Kelly. This is the Liverpool Development Watch and my job is to bring you all the updates on the loanees and youth sides associated with Liverpool Football Club. It's been away for a couple of weeks, I've been on holiday and other work commitments as well, but it is back for good. I'm in the new studio for the first time today. It's very, very sexy, but with that, let's just get into it. A little bit later in the show, we're going to be talking about how Origi and Solanke scored for the U23s this weekend, but we're going to start with the loanees and we're going to start up in Scotland with Steven Gerrard, who has heaped praise onto Ryan Kent after he got his first goal for Rangers at the weekend. Gerrard's side won 4-0 against Dundee to get his second Scottish Premiership win of the season. He subbed Kent off though with 25 minutes to go, and that was because he had one eye on the Villarreal game this week in the Europa League, their first game of their Europa League group. Gerrard spoke about Kent after the game saying, "I thought Ryan was certainly man of the match while he was on the pitch. I wanted to get him off because I'm going to need his energy and going to need another performance of that level on Thursday night. He was superb and I knew the goals would come. I knew as soon as he started relaxing in front of the goals would come. He's in a terrific place. Well done, Ryan." And that's the kind of thing that you really want to be hearing about any manager, about one of our loanees. And you forget the fact that it's Steven Gerrard for a second. Any manager needs to be treating him as if, without any bias. At the end of the day, he's there to progress. He's there to further his development as a player. And clearly from what Gerrard's saying, he thinks he's doing that. And hopefully that means that next season he'll be coming back and he'll be perhaps making a push for the first team. Ovie Ejaria, of course, who's on loan at Rangers, missed this game due to injury, but Gerrard is hopeful that he'll be there on Thursday for the Villarreal game. They're going to need all the best players. That's a really tough game away from home. Staying in Scotland, Adam Bogdan played 90 minutes for Hibs as they beat Kilmarnock 3-2. Some spicy goals in this game. Trust me, find the highlights on YouTube if you can. There's a good free kick. The second Kilmarnock goal is absolutely fantastic. Fortunately though, Bogdan wasn't at fault for any against his team and he had a relatively good 90 minutes if truth be told. And with that, we'll move on to the other goalkeeper, Loris Karius, who's on loan at Besiktas. I've not actually covered Karius since he went on loan because obviously I've been away. But they won 2-1 against Yeni Malatyaspor to go fourth in the Turkish Super League this weekend. He made 4 decent saves, Karius, on the back of a really dodgy debut. He had quite a good game here. He made at least 4 decent saves, but he was at fault for the Yeni goal. He comes out, it's a really dodgy decision-making process that he sort of goes through because he comes out and he makes a really good save. He kind of smothers the ball, and then he goes out further to try and collect the ball, and the player takes it round him, and it ricochets off a defender and goes in. But it probably was Karius' fault if he'd just gone back to base after making the initial good save. Probably wouldn't have happened. Having said that, overall, like I say, it didn't really matter because they won the game, and he did make 2 or 3, if not 4, very good saves prior to that moment. So overall, you can't criticise him too much. We'll move to Germany now. We're going to talk about Marco Grujic, who completed 90 minutes for Hertha Berlin as they drew 2-2 in an eventful game with Wolfsburg. Not much to report on an individual level for Grujic, although he did get booked, which is kind of becoming a trademark of Grujic's game at the moment. He's getting booked pretty much every game, very much the Granit Xhaka of the Bundesliga at the moment. Back to England, and Corey Whelan finally made his debut for Crewe at the weekend, featuring at left back for the League 2 side and helping them keep a clean sheet in a 0-0 draw. And onto the youth sides then, Origi and Solanke both scored as Liverpool under-23s beat Swansea 3-0 at the academy. Nat Phillips opened the scoring on a very comfortable afternoon for Neil Critchley's side. Reflecting on the victory, Critchley told LiverpoolFC.com, "It was great for the boys to get our first win of the season, but I don't think our overall performance was as good as the previous games when we didn't get what we deserved." And if he thinks that, then that's a very good sign, because obviously that means that they can push out and perform better, and hopefully that'll win them more games over the course of the season. They sit 7th in Premier League 2 at the moment, and they have a big game away at Arsenal this Friday evening. It was an equally successful weekend for Barry Lutis' under-18s as they beat Newcastle 4-1, also at the academy. Bobby Duncan was involved, but the informed Paul Glatzel was given a rest ahead of their UEFA Youth League tie against PSG on Tuesday. Reflecting on the win, Lutis told LiverpoolFC.com, "We played some really good stuff again and it was a pleasing performance. We created lots of chances in the first half, but had just 1 goal to show for our play. We did ever so well after the break and had full control of the game." It sounds like really good stuff being played. The under-18s are really starting to click. I think they're scoring a lot of goals. Bobby Duncan looks very exciting when he plays, and when Paul Glatzel plays as well, he does. So hopefully they'll go out and beat PSG under-18s on Tuesday before the first team do it on Tuesday evening at Anfield. I cannot wait for that one. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this week. It's the Liverpool Development Watch. Thank you very much for watching. As always, do all the usual stuff. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave me a comment down below, and I will see you next week for more Development Watch. I've been Ben Kelly. Goodbye.